Gonna wait for at least one person to come in the room. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself like I am right now. Dun, 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 dun. Ah. If you just started watching this live and you want to watch it later, remember that you got to give me time to make it public again, because YouTube is stupid and they make it private after the live stream has finished. If you can hear me, number one, I see you, number one up there. Do me a favor, give me a 5x5, let me know how my sound is. Clearly my video is working. I may have to crack the window from time to time because it is getting a little warm already for some reason. So I wanted to just drop in and do this quick little live. I'm almost to the property in Virginia. And I've been listening to a lot of fear porn this morning. I've been listening to a lot of people trying to cash in on war. And it's all a big joke. You've got everybody in America, even the CNNs, even the MSNBCs, the ABCs, the CBSs, all the left-wing media is screaming for war. Fox isn't helping. All the central newses, the centrist newses are just basically reporting what they believe are facts. And then you got Russia saying that they're kicking ass and taking names, and they're not. You know, you got this 40-mile convoy that is moving towards Kyiv. And you got to wonder why. You got to wonder why they've brought all these forces together and channelized them or funneled them into a specific area. Well, because they can't move across open ground the way they planned on doing. All the videos that I've seen, basically it snowed on the first day they were going in, and apparently, well, obviously, the weather has changed. It's not freezing cold. So now they're going to be fighting an urban battle. Mount warfare is not fun. It is bloody. It is dirty. It is slow. It is painful. And all of those Russian forces are basically useless. Now they only have one choice, and that is to create a scenario where they can surround the city and bombard it until they give up. So are they going to do that? There's no telling. There's really no telling. But I do know that those tanks aren't going to be operating in the city. Those trucks, those artillery pieces, yeah, they'll be left out someplace. But none of those things are going to be moving around in the city, because if they do, they will get destroyed. And the Russians know that. Every Russian commander knows that. So I think we need to rethink none of this matters to us other than economically. Economically, you keep hearing about sanctions this and SWIFT that, and it's funny too, because the people that are screaming for this stuff either fully understand or don't understand that there are ramifications economically for the United States when sanctions are used. Did you know that there's a buttload of trucking companies in the United States that are ran and paid for by Russians? Did you know that? Well, if you're a trucker and you're out on a load, and we'll talk about the truckers here in a second, and you're out on a load, and then all of a sudden the U.S. decides to, put sanctions on that particular company because they did business with the Russians, then that trucker will be required to deliver the load, but he may not be paid for upwards of 90 days. And these guys live week to week. Unless they're driving a company's truck and they're picking up the fuel and tires and maintenance and emergency stops, they're not picking up everything, which is very rare, then that trucker is going to be running out of money very, very, very fast. And that's a problem. And that means that those trucks will get parked, because truckers will only drive for so long without getting paid. And we all know what that means for our supply lines. The economic toll, it's going to get bad, guys. It's going to get bad. If you know me, I've been telling you to fill your pantries. I hope you've been listening. And I was telling somebody today, they were giving me the laundry list of everything that they've done. And that's great. And then I said, don't forget the water. And they're like, we didn't. Don't forget the water, guys. So oil, the economic sanctions are now being felt here in the United States. The price of oil has now officially gone over $100 a barrel. What does that mean? It means higher gas prices. What do higher gas prices mean? It means higher transportation costs. What does that mean? Higher food costs. And suddenly the $15 an hour that all the nutbags had to have so that they could have a living wage doing jobs that only high school kids are supposed to be doing, instead of actually finding a trade or a skill or an education or a career. And now it all means nothing, because so much money is going to be going out the door. It's going to make you sick. I feel it every time I go to town, guys, just like you do. I've got to the point where I don't even want to go into town, because I know I'm going to spend $60 for something I used to spend $25 for. I know that more than 3 bags of something from Walmart are going to cost me $70. It's pretty much to the point where it doesn't matter what I put in the bags. It's absolutely crazy, the level of inflation that we are already feeling. And I was walking through the store thinking about deflation as well. I walked into this one convenience store this morning. Basically, it was a gas station that has like lots of stuff you can buy. And I walked into it this morning, and all I wanted to do was get to the back so I could go buy me a Red Bull, right? And I couldn't get in there because every single row had a person restocking everything. Basically, they were restocking in every single row. And normally what you have is you have like one person doing like one row, and then they'll do another. You know what I'm saying? They had 3 people inside of a gas station convenience store restocking simultaneously. And no, they were not third parties. Those guys actually work there. I have seen them there before at different hours. And yeah, so that tells me that we're going to start having a problem with deflation. People are buying things, and how do I explain deflation to you? The effects of deflation to you. The effects of deflation to you are pretty simple. Everybody's out buying a bunch of shit. They're going to restock everything, and then that stuff won't move. And then that will force them to lower the price of that stuff. That's deflation. Now, obviously, we know about the Weimar province in Germany, the story of that. What is it, 1920, 1912 or something like that? I don't know the dates on it. But people are worried about you. And we're not there yet, but listen, guys, that's the end of a nation. Every nation that has ever gone into hyperinflation, pretty much that government is gone. And basically socialism drops in. There's no rebuilding. There's no nothing. It's gone. This guy's fed up. This guy's feed is hung up. No, boss, it's not hung up. I'm driving in a place where, believe it or not, internet is not the #1 priority in this part of the world. When I get about a couple miles off the road, it'll start coming through a little bit better. Just either hang out and listen to the audio or try to refresh your browser. Let's see here. Whoever just said I'll subscribe to you, I appreciate that. Let's see. But here's the thing. If we don't, right now is key, guys. Right now is key to getting the things that you need for you and your family. Right now is the key, is the time to start telling your friends and your family, hey, listen, just go get some cans. Just go get a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you've gone full prepper on somebody, they've probably already blown you off. And they probably never do it anyway, you know? It's working fine for me. Good to see it. Hey, Midwest Survivor. I'm sorry, guys, I can't identify you by person, the news unit. Gotcha. But it's a little difficult to read while I'm driving, one. No, I'm not. I am currently driving back to the property in Virginia. But I'm not far. I'm not far. Let's see. So right now is key before things start to get even worse. Now, even if we go into a deflationary mode, which we will eventually get to. And here's the thing, guys, you need to be aware of this. You have to pay attention to what's happening, because not with the world, but with the economy, okay? Screw the world, all right? Listen, you can't prepare for a nuclear weapon landing on top of your head. You can't do it. If you don't own a bunker, you can't prepare. So there's no sense in wasting any time whatsoever thinking about it, okay? There's no sense in, buying the $700, CBRN rated gas mask, okay? There's no sense in doing it. Put that money towards food. Put that money towards duct tape and plastic sheeting so you can seal. Those are the things that you can physically do. You know what I'm saying? And once again, the water. Because once the water's contaminated, yeah, you're going to have a problem. So what I was trying to tell you was to pay attention to the economy, because you never see it coming. But anyway, I'm subscribed now. I appreciate it, man. You're not going to see it coming. Listen, no one saw. They've been doing that whole analogy about how do you boil a frog? You just slowly turn the heat up and he never jumps out of the pot. That is what happened to us. That's how we got here. And no one sees it coming. It's like the market, the stock market. The stock market has moved into correction territory, 10 times in the last 10 days. You know what I'm saying? The way the system is set up and the way the Fed corrects the markets, you'll never see the crash coming. You're just going to see this slow. And if you look at the stock market, go to any stock market webpage. I think you're confusing me with someone else. I don't even know who you are. I'm not confused. I don't even know what's happening in the chat. Thank you, though. If you go to any website, okay, that can show you a stock market graph, and you look at that stock market and you push it out 2 years, you'll see where it's just slowly doing that. It's slowly going from January 2020 to the current time down here, to where the market is slowly losing its value so that there's no crash. Now, at a certain point, something will key it off. Something will make that cliff. It'll just be a correction of like probably 20 or 30%. Whereas with the super bubble, they're talking about a 50 to 60% correction. It's a giant freaking cliff. But when that happens, the value of everything is going to go down. Because that's how it works. I think what we need to focus on is the things that we can control, our sphere of influence. I think we need to focus on preparing the things that we can prepare for. And screw the news. I'm giving it about an hour's worth of play every day. You know, watch a little bit of Fox, and they pretty much just, you know, Ukraine. Everything is freaking Ukraine. Every single thing is Ukraine. I watched CNN for 20 minutes today. Every single thing was Ukraine. You know, it's almost like CNN has gone back to their like Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and you know, basically old school reporting, war reporting is what I'm seeing. The like CNN, ABC, NBC, so on and so forth, is what I'm seeing. You know, yesterday, at the end of the day before, I literally spent most of the day just sitting on my couch and watching Netflix. I must have binge watched like 3 different series of shows. And the reason I did it was because I'm not going to waste my time listening to Ukraine, the drum beats of war. I'm just not going to listen to it, and you shouldn't either. You know, it used to be the only time, I don't know how old any of you are, but when I was a kid, the only time that we watched any news was at night when Dad came home, and it was just before supper, you know? And after that, it was all the shows. You basically give them, you had like half an hour to an hour of local news, and then you had an hour of national news. And that was it. And the world just spun just fine. And none of us cared about these stupid little things that I'm talking on now, because they didn't exist. Were they better days? Hell yeah, they were much better days. They were so much better days. Are we more technologically advanced? Yes. Yeah, you know, who knew we'd have a frickin', you know, a Star Trek tricorder in our frickin' hands every day that turned into our watch and our camera and our alarm clock, and you know, it's saddening. It's saddening, you know. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back on point. We really, I task you all. I task you, my YouTube army of 800 plus people. I task you to not watch so much news. I task you to focus on the things that are important to you and your family. You know, I task you to do what is necessary to prepare you and your family. Because right now, food isn't food anymore. Food is insurance. Gas is insurance. Water is insurance. And if you have a life insurance policy, then you understand what this really means. Go to the store, buy a few more cans than you normally do. Buy an extra thing of meat. I'm going to say something that's going to piss a few people off. Stop buying survival gear. If you don't have it yet, well, I'm sorry. If you don't know how to make fire with a damn lighter, I'm sorry. But right now, this is the Western world. It's not like you're going to go out and shoot a buck and put him in your freezer or put him in your root cellar. You know, it's not like you're going to go and pick your and I'm sorry, not pick, but plant, you know, your war garden. That's not what's going to happen, guys. If something kicks off, you're going to have what you have. Now, I'll caveat on that. I don't think that we'll ever see a day where a nuclear weapon is doing kinetic damage over U.S. soil. Do not believe it. Do not believe it. Warfare is not fight. That didn't piss me off. Exactly many scams. Okay? Thank you. But I do believe that if the Russians were to use a nuclear weapon, it would definitely be, you know, a Tsar weapon, and it'll an EMP. It'll go off 240 miles above the Earth's surface. It'll be somewhere over Montana, and it will black out the entire nation, and it'll take us back to the Stone Age until we can figure it out. You know, it's like I see people making all these Faraday cages for their cell phones. Your cell phone's not going to work. You can protect it all you want. And when you take it out of your Faraday cage and you turn it on, it's going to do nothing for you. Well, I'll take that back. Your GPS might still work, but believe it or not, the GPS in phones suck. They're not good at all. Let's see. Some of your apps will still work that aren't internet dependent, so that there might be some use there. But other than that, it's useless. If you're going to make yourself one of those little Faraday cage cans, the little 3-gallon cans, go ahead, do it. Hopefully it works. I got one. But here's the thing, put things in it that you'll actually be able to use. You know, like a radio, you know, that you can wind up and you can listen to, you know, the NOAA bands, the emergency bands, the shortwave bands. You know, something that you'll be able to use because they will try and transmit. You know, they will try and get transmitters up. And that's kind of old school and very easily repairable technology. So do those things. If that's what you want to do those things. I guess my last bit of advice before I shut this down is that you should be, well, get some of the money out of the bank. If you, I have everything on auto pay. I have everything on auto pay, and anything else comes out of the bank. All right, stranger. Later, bro. And I think that it's a good practice for most everybody. To each their own. The money will, you know, when the run on the banks start, if the runs on our banks start, you'll thank me. If not, you'll just be living a cash lifestyle. Nothing lost, nothing gained. And if you think when things go bad, there won't be a run on our banks, you are dead wrong. And yeah, your cash at a certain point will be good for nothing more than toilet paper. But until it is, you still have cash. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Till the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I have to see you. You're very welcome, Midwest Survivor. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.